Good morning, good afternoon, happy Thursday. Another awesome day in the market, but it was a matter of really staying picky. Coming in, I was pretty much done in the first, to be honest with you, 10 minutes of market open, and the best opportunities were pretty much already gone. So, of course, last night's free watch list, if you tune into my watch list every single night, I give you the top stocks every single night. NVVE was that top stock, and it was my top stock today as well, where we were actually able to capitalize in a pretty big way. So in today's video, I'm going to break down my exact market open strategy that I used today on MVVE to catch this massive move up into the halt at the bell, and it was pretty dang awesome. So today there wasn't a whole lot to watch going into, well, actually there was a whole lot to watch going to market open, but the issue was how it actually came to follow through out of market open. So out of market open, I was watching JTAI, NVVE, MLTX, and FLYX. Now only really two of those ended up being worth the watch, and FLYX was one of those, but the problem with that is look back here. I have no trades on this today, unfortunately. Now, I was watching it over the highs. Now, we were looking at this over the high of day to see if you couldn't put in place, because you have this perfect double top off the high where you have this super defined breakout level. And so what I was going to watch here is because we halted up here, and I was going to watch for a nice resumption, look for it to pull back off the previous high from pre-market, and then get legging up higher, a little bit of a dip and rib trade. Well, unfortunately, and if you were watching this, you know exactly what I'm going to say here. This resumes and just instantly locks into a halt. No question, no waiting, no pullback, no even second, just boom, just straight into a halt. So at that point, I can't really do anything with this. And then I'm watching it out of the next halt to see if we can't get maybe a pullback entry, and then it just resumes high. But then it just gaps up out of the next halt, 890, and then just falls into two more halt downs and leave it alone from there. The issue with this is after this happens, this thing is done for the day. You got to think from the perspective of everybody else out there watching this stock today. And you see this happen. This thing gets pummeled like $2 a share. Anybody watching this is now going to hesitate the entire morning because they're scared to go trade this. They're like, oh my God, this thing is knifed into two halts. They're not going to want to go play this. And so, again, you have this chop all morning, leave it alone from there. And I had somebody today look back in chat today while I was trading and say there were some scalping opportunities. You can always look back on anything and find scalping opportunities regardless of what it is. Hindsight is 2020. What you've got to ask yourself, though, is it an A-plus opportunity? Is it worth the risk? And in this case here, after this big move off the highs there, obviously was not worth the risk. So that there was a no bueno. That was no good. JTAI was pretty good. We're going to go to MVVE last. Save the best for last. JTAI here, I tried to get going on the pivot back over VWAP on that reclaim to see if we couldn't get back up into the highs here from pre-market. Again, didn't get any resolution here either. Now, as far as it being a good setup, we had a great setup here. Saw the break of VWAP. I'm sitting here taking pullbacks, looking to see if we couldn't get that continuation back up into the previous highs. I got it for one win. Even on the entry number 2 here, where I came back and took a second entry at 84 cents, able to get some taken out over 85, and I sell the rest here beneath VWAP. So it is what it is. No follow through here, but overall a good setup and just couldn't make it happen. Very small size. MLTX, of course, did not trade. This thing was a massive fade right out of the gate. The game plan here was to watch it over 1650. Of course, it just gapped straight down out of the open. So no plays there. But NVVE, the big one of the day today. What do we have here on NVVE? Well, like I said, first and foremost, this was on last night's free stock watch list. So if you tune in for my free watch list every night, if you don't already, make sure you do. The best watch list you're going to find anywhere online every single night. I have not missed a single day, and I don't know how long. In any case, this was the top watch today on MVE, and the game plan here was to watch it for a break of 440, then look for pullbacks to put in place a nice confirmed higher low for the entry opportunity for the range up to, I think it was 5 and 6. We got that today. And so we saw buyers start to come in here right after 9 o'clock, about 9:10. We really saw volume pick up here. And of course, I'm not playing it through here, right? I don't really do a whole lot of trading pre-market. I'm just not a massive fan. Never have been. And so I let this thing set up, and especially the last 30 minutes before the bell. Anyways, this starts setting up here. We have this perfect range. Look at this. Puts in place this confirmed bottom. Puts in place these confirmed highs. Now, what I sort of know here is we have this big wick off the high here from pre-market. And so I'm expecting this to act as an area of supply. And so while I took the pullback here, and I'll tell you why here in a second, I was expecting, because this thing popped up so quickly. So what happens here? For starters, as you know, my pullback entries are pretty much based off the same exact confluences where I'm looking for pullbacks off the 9 and VWAP, right? Those are my two primary pieces of confluence. Well, going into the open, what I know here is we have, of course, these higher lows from this previous range low, where price breaks beneath that, beneath VWAP, beneath the 90 MA, beneath 20 MA, and then it reclaims. Look at this massive volume move back over trend, back over the 90 MA, back over VWAP. And so at the bell, I'm watching that pullback to risk off of VWAP and that 90 MA to see if we couldn't get popping up higher. back up into this previous high from pre-market. And so on this first trade, I'm taking the entry off the pullback at 480 with a stop down here on 465, 15 cents a share of risk for the range here back to about $5 a share. And I get that move, and I'm able to take a majority out. And again, I was fully anticipating, because this was an instant pop up into that previous high. I was fully expecting this to reject off that high and just slap straight back down off that 5 psychological level. Now it didn't, and thankfully I had some runners left in this. And I actually got stuck up into a halt here. It resumes higher up into the 550s, and I take a full exit off the highs here on the rejection on 560. Then, of course, we know that we have these pre-market highs as confluence, and so price pulls back. We see buyers step back in here, able to take a re-entry, and then able to take it back up, as you can see here, from 530. Stops go at the low of this candle at 510, 20 cents a share of risk. And I got to move here back to 555. Cool. Another easy little trade. Base hit play. I try to take one more time for the curl higher. You can see here, overall, pretty much break even on this trade. It tries to curl higher. Again, I'm taking it off this past low, off the 90 MA, seeing if I can't get it to put in place a range here. You can see what I was looking for here, where it's putting in place this almost tightening wedge over the highs. I could tell that it was hesitating a little bit. We can see it tries to wick higher, and sellers start to come in. And so I just sit back and I wait for a better pullback opportunity. Then, as you can see, price does pull back off the pre-market highs. I take it once more over VWAP. Able to take another little base hit play, as you can see here, from the 510 back to about 520. Another little base hit, and then it sort of breaks trend here later in the morning as well, or at least it tries to break trend. It reclaims the 9 and VWAP. You can see it breaks beneath the 9 and VWAP here. Once it reclaims, I take a little pullback, and I try to get something going with small size, and overall just took a very small win there too. So that's pretty much summed up the morning. Today, there wasn't a whole lot of opportunity. But really, NVVE is all you needed at market open. This thing gave you a tremendous move from 480 all the way to 560, almost $1 a share. And what more can you ask for? So that pretty much sums up today's trading day. FLYX was just a nasty halter. Not a whole lot of opportunities there. So did what we could on NVVE, the top stock for today, and wrapped up another green day in the markets. So that being said, if you did learn a thing or two from this video, make sure to subscribe for daily content just like this. And as always, make sure to claim your 7-day free trial in the description below to watch me trade these stocks in real time every single day and get access to my alerts, education, chat room access, watch list scanners, news, journals, momentum AI, and so much more. And that being said, I will catch you there. Let me know in the comments below as well how you did today. Hopefully you had an awesome day, and I'll catch you back tomorrow.